Narcissists and the closure. This is a subject that I can talk about because obviously I went through the narcissistic abusive cycle. And I can tell you now, you'll never ever get closure from a narcissist purely and simply because they never accept any responsibility for anything. So it's not something that you need to get your head around. They just won't give you closure. But I believe, especially in my relationship, I can only speak for mine. I believe that I started to get closure in my marriage and relationship in the devaluation stage and probably at the beginning of it. Because the different things that was happening, when somebody's giving you loads of verbal abuse and silent treatment and stonewalling, gaslighting, when they start doing that on a regular basis, in effect, they are closing your relationship and marriage down slowly. Because it's all one-way traffic. It's one person that's dishing all the abuse out, the toxic side of it, and the other person's just stood there and they've got to absorb it all. So at the end of the day, your marriage is in massive trouble there. So why would you need closure when the narcissist is abusing you? Do you want them to sit down and say, oh yeah, I've been abusing you and I've quite enjoyed it? You're never going to get that from a narcissist, but that's what happens and that's what they do. So to me, I don't want closure from my marriage and relationship. I think I received it all the way up to me exiting and getting out with Bonnie the Boxer. I think that was I got my closure. Soon as I closed that door, when I cleared everything out of the house, with me, the dog, the car, and all our belongings that went, that was my closure to me. That was me saying, I've had enough, and that's it. I didn't want to go and sit with that person and say, why has this happened and why has that happened? Because they wouldn't have given you truthful answers anyway, and they weren't interested in listening to you in relationship. So they're not going to be interested when it's an end of relationship in listening to you neither. And they'll just blame shift everything and they'll just twist it. And you'll finish up sat there and you'll realise that when you walk away, if you try to get any closure, that it were all your fault. But it isn't your fault. But at the end of the day, I believe that getting closure from a narcissist, it's impossible. The only person that you can get closure from is yourself and what you do and how you move on from it. And I think that I'm testament to what's happening to me. I know it wasn't easy for me to get out. I've openly admitted that. And at certain times, I think I was stuck. But I managed to get out and I've got no contact. There's no contact whatsoever. And I cannot understand why people say I didn't get closure. I don't want closure. I've just been, the covert narcissist has just abused the life out of me, gaslit me, give me loads of silent treatment, stonewalled me for months and months and months. So why would I want closure from that? My closure is closing the front door and walking away with my dog. And everybody's different. If the narcissist somehow could get in touch with me or stop me and saw me in a street and said, do you want to meet up and I'll give you closure? I'd say, no, I've already had the closure. It's done. It's gone. It's over. So we're all different. It took me quite a bit of time to get out. And I actually think because I stayed probably longer than I should have done because I was the one that was trying to save the marriage. And that's a waste of time. But you don't realise that till after. If she has to meet up with me, I'd just say, no, I'm all right, thank you. I'm fine. Because I think that I need to close everything down myself. I've got to push my way through anything that I found. What they've got to realise is that they've pumped that much abuse into you. Everything's toxic, abusive, the stonewalling, the gaslighting, the silent treatment. It all damages you, whether it's emotional, and it probably does some physical damage to you, but you can't see it. And why would you want to sit and speak to somebody that's just pumped all that abuse into you over a period of time, for them to sit there and either deny it? They're not going to accept any responsibility. They never do. So I just can't see the point. If somebody said to me, do you want closure? I'd say, no, I'm all right, thank you. I think I've had it already. Because I think that all that devaluation stage that I went through with the narcissist, when she was giving me loads of verbal abuse and silent treatment and snidey comments and just backhanded compliments, when you sit down and write it all down, why on earth would you want a closure from that? You've already got it. Your answers are what they've been doing to you for how many months you've allowed them to do it. I actually think that I should have probably got out maybe 12 months before I did. But the only reason that I stayed in it was I tried to work on it. But unbeknownst to me, there was only me working on it, and one person can't make a marriage work. So when I look back at what I've done and how I've come out and how I've got through it, I think I've had my closure. But anything that I need closing off, I will do that myself. I'll just go through it myself and think that's the reason why. The reason why I don't want closure is because when you've got loads of abuse being pumped into you, verbal abuse, mental abuse, silent treatment, that clearly states and it tells you that that person's not interested in being with you or being around you. So that to me is partly closing your marriage down straight away without you saying a word. But we're all different. But that's just my opinion on it. I couldn't wait to get out. I was desperate to get out, but I knew I was emotionally, I'd had some damage done to me, and I was struggling. And obviously I was in a fog or in a trauma bond. You know, there was something that was holding me back. And it's purely and simply the amount of toxic abuse that you've had pushed and pumped into you from this person over a period of time. And it does some serious damage to you, to be fair. I could tell it changed me as a person. I was confused at times, wasn't sure, you know, whether I should leave or stay. And when you've got all that stuff going round and around in your head, that's the narcissist that's created that. You've not created it. Somebody else has put that into your head and created that. And it's the person that somebody will say, oh, I've not had closure from him. I don't want closure from somebody that's toxic, aggressive, abusive, stonewaller, gaslighting, silent treatment expert. I don't want closure from that. I've already had it. I've been out quite a few weeks and I'm starting to feel absolutely great. As in, I know I'm not going to come home and there's going to be any abuse. There's no verbals, no silent treatment. I just take Bonnie out for a walk. We come back in. I make breakfast. I make tea. And there's nobody abusing. And I just give my dog some love. The dog will give me some love back. And that's what life should be about. And we just sit there and just have a nice, peaceful time. So why would I want closure from somebody that all what they wanted to do really was from the beginning of the relationship was take the mickey out of you, stab you in the back, start a smear campaign, and then verbally abuse you all the way through your relationship and marriage. Mine didn't happen in relationship, but everything turned sour for me in the marriage. And it's pretty obvious once they've got you tied down, then they just think, right, you're mine, I'm going to do what I want. And away we go. But I just would not want closure at all. And everybody's different. I'm not going to knock anybody that says, well, they'd like closure. But I wouldn't want somebody to sit there and they would be basically laughing behind your back, thinking this guy's asking for closure and all what I've done is abused him. I wouldn't give them satisfaction of being able to do that to me. I just think that you need to get yourselves away if you can do it, and if that's what you want to do. And you'll find closure within yourself as you're moving forward. I've got better and better every day. I've had a couple of days where I've had a couple of, maybe, I wouldn't say wobbles, but I've had a couple of days where I was a little bit down. But I think that's pretty decent for quite a few weeks that we've been away. And rest of the time, I've felt really positive and okay. So I think I'm on a decent path. And to me, that's my closure, is I got away. I closed that door. And as far as I was concerned, I was never, ever going back, and I never will go back. And it's a waste of time. I've cut all contact, but it would be a waste of time trying to over me, because I'm just not interested, because I know there's only me that knows. And this is 100% true this. You've got to have gone through it to understand what it's like. And there's only me that knows what was happening behind closed doors. And it was the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. So why would I want to go back to that? Not a chance. I am not going back in a million years. And I just believe that the best way for you to move forward with closure is do it yourself, inside your own body and your brain, and you can answer all the questions that you want to ask the narcissist, because you've already got the answers, because of all the abuse and the toxicity and the silent treatment. They're your answers there and then. The reason why the narcissist abuses you, gives you silent treatment, stonewalls you, gaslights you, the reason why they do that is because they just want to get their supply and it makes them feel happy. So why would you want to sit and speak to narcissists and listen to a load of rubbish that's coming out of the mouth, and they'll probably be getting supply off that while you're sat there wanting closure from them. So what you need to do is you've got to do whatever you need to do for yourself. But for me, I'm going on the path and the direction that my closure is within me, and whatever I need to do to close it off completely along that journey, I will just have to face it and do it. Thanks ever so much for watching. See you soon. Bye.